was just how do you follow up with them?
Exactly. So
Mhm. John, we lost you. So we'll wait for John to pop back on. But just to fill you guys in, John is over there. He's in one of the Carolinas, I believe. He calls absentee landlords, and was kind of like a lot of us. I don't know how many of you struggle with this, where like you, no problem picking up the phone, kind of talking to somebody for sale and by owner and expired, or even somebody from your sphere of influence. And you're just kind of like, well, how the heck do I follow up? How do I keep in touch with this person when it doesn't lead to an appointment or a transaction right away, right? So, John, what kind of success have you been having? Tell us. I know had no problem making the calls, but now any progress with the follow up calls?
so it's getting a little bit better because I'm actually going on listing appointments now. However, I feel like the conversion rate isn't there because just my conversation afterward just feels a little awkward.
Yeah.
When I listen back over it. I would love to hear how you would follow up after sending somebody a CMA and
Yeah.
them kind of being like kind of interested but kind of not. Like how would I close them?
So, okay, so you're going on listing appointments though, or you're not? You said
I,
because you,
I am not as many as I feel like I should be going compared
okay.
to the number of CMAs I'm sending
And
out.
what kind of feedback are you getting? Are you getting people that are just kind of, hey, I'm not thinking about selling at all, or maybe, and when I'm ready, I'll let you know, that kind of deal?
Yeah, a lot of people who just kind of I go over the CMA, ask if they have any questions, and they're just kind of like, no, I got to think about it, kind of, just or they're just not don't seem too interested.
I got you. Well, that's the thing, because there's probably not I mean, whenever you're dealing with absentee owners too, where their property is rented or they're really not using it, there's not, you have to tap into that why would they want to sell, right? We all know why somebody would want to sell that lives in the house, because they're going to move, right?
Mm.
So if I live in this house and I want to sell it, it's pretty clear that I'm going to be moving for some reason. I want to downsize, I want a bigger house, I'm relocating, something like that. So I think getting into the conversation with an absentee owner about that why, might open some things up. So, so I mean, I can role play this with you. So you'll be an absentee owner, and did I meet with you? Did I get you the CMA? What do you have? What's been our contact already?
Yeah, so you were cold lead up until yesterday. I gave you a call. The script essentially boils down to I'm gonna run a CMA for you, see how much the house is worth, and this is the follow-up call.
And you're following up with the CMA.
Yeah.
Great. All right, so yeah, so I'll give you a ring. Okay, ring, ring.
Hello?
Hey, John, it's Chris, your favorite real estate agent from yesterday. How you doing?
Good, good. How's it going?
Awesome. Well, so I mean, last time we spoke yesterday, just we talked about it. I gave you my word that I would get you over a market analysis to let you know how much that property was worth that you're kind of sitting on, and just wanted to know if you had an opportunity to take a look at it.
Yeah. I glanced over it. Yeah. It was good.
Any questions around that? I mean, I just kind of gave you the data. I mean, what you can see is what's on the market, what's sold, what didn't make it, what didn't sell. I mean, there's a lot of information there. Were you able to deduct anything from the data that I gave you?
I think the house is actually worth a little bit more than I thought. I gotta think about it.
When you think that, what were you looking at in particular? I mean, give me some examples from the report I gave you. Was there you feel like your house is nicer, bigger, worth more than the most expensive one that sold there? Talk to me about that.
Yeah, I just feel like I just had a new roof put in. My appliances are brand new flooring. Just the paint's not in bad shape. So I just think I might have to wait a little longer till I sell.
All right. So I mean, at what price would you become a seller? Like, at what price would you sell it now? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah. So the range you gave me, I saw it was like 300 to 330. I'd probably list it like 340.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
All right. So 340. So if you could, I mean, we're not too far off. So what if we put it on the market, gave it, I could talk to you about what I do, because actually my specialty is capitalizing on the backlog of buyers. So you might have a backlog of buyers that's looking for something just like yours. It's willing to overpay. We just have to before we put it on the market, we have to get it out there correctly. And what if there was a way for you to get your price real quick? Would you consider making a move then?
Yeah, no, I definitely would.
Awesome. I mean, because we're not too far off, John. And the reason why I ask is because, like we haven't gone over, actually the marketing strategy. I mean, I do this day in and day out. It's what I specialize in. Actually, my average days in the market right now is about 6 days. So, what's a good time to get together? I'd love to go over these things with you and see if we can make it happen. If we can make it happen for you, there's a whole new plan of action, what to do once you sell that property. So, when's a good time for us to get together to talk about what we can do to get that house sold for you, and what the next steps are for you as a newly as a newly financed man with money sitting there to invest in more real estate.
I am definitely interested. I guess I'll have to reach out to the tenant. He's a really great guy. I just kind of got to let him know we're gonna head over there.
Yes. Why don't we do this? We'll set up an appointment, and I can meet you even outside of the house. We don't even have to go and take a look at the house if your tenant's not available. But why don't we go ahead and we'll set the appointment for tomorrow? And if you get in touch with the tenant, great. We'll walk through the house. If not, I know a great little coffee shop right by there that we can get together at. How's that sound?
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. So do you think tomorrow 4:30 p.m. works? Is that enough time?
Let me just. Could you do 5?
Yeah, 5 is perfect.
Okay, yeah, let's do 5.
It'll be my last stop for the day. So
Awesome. Yeah, I appreciate the call.
no problem. Great. So we'll see you tomorrow at 5, and I'll just text you over all the information, all the details, and we'll go from there.
Chris, you're amazing, Chris. I wish I could do that on the phone.
You can do that. Just so here, you send them the report. We didn't even really get into your why. Once I asked, because you said, "Oh, I think it was worth a little bit more," and then when I asked you what the difference was, we're talking about a $10,000 discrepancy, guys. How many times have you seen people in a market and like this, pay more than we think it's going to be worth, or it's the next top sale, right? So just talk to them about what you sent them, see if they have any questions. If shift gears into that why conversation. So like, hey, what made you consider selling in the first place? Well, I figure the market's hot, and if I could get a lot of money for it now and cash in, why not? Great. What would you do with that money, right? So, because I know you say you call a lot of absentee owners. Some of them are tenants, some of them are tenant occupied, some of them are not. They're not necessarily investors, right? So here's what's going to happen too. If they're renting it out, if they're going to pay capital gains taxes on that profit. That's a new conversation to have. And that's like 40%, right? 40% of their profit. So if they sell that property for 330 and they have $100,000 mortgage on it, they're going to walk away with what? 230. That 230 net profit, they're going to pay 40% of that in taxes, capital gains taxes. Uncle Sam, the government, unless what? Does anybody know?
1031 exchange? No.
Unless they roll it over into more real estate, another property of equal or more value for the purposes of investment. So there's a lot of conversations to be had, which means they need someone like you that they can ask questions to, that they can get information from and rely on, that also does the work. So you have a two-pronged job in their life. Number one, to be their consultant, right? And be their consultant, their guidance, their educator around this stuff. And the second thing is to actually do the work, to get their property sold, to find and sell them in other property, or perhaps, guess what? That's going to be they'll be looking for a property in another part of the country or the part of the world. Who knows? And we got people on this session today that service all different kinds of areas, right? That Shannon just sent a referral from Florida up to Chicago. Got Walter over in New York. So it's the opportunities are really, you have to shake that tree to see what falls out. Again, if they're not interested in engaging in a conversation at all, then you just keep in touch with them and follow up. Okay, Graham, so you're not really, looking to make a move now. Here's what I can do for you. I could send you a report like this once a month. How's that work? Right. And so how quick is it for you to once a month just do an RPR search, or like, you don't have to do a full CMA, but just to kind of, and a lot of you might have this already, property valuation widgets built on your website or newsletters, just to pop them in there and send them something once a month. But you're getting there, man. You're making these calls. Now you're getting something to follow up. That's a perfect place to be. Awesome. Did anybody have any comments or questions around that? You guys understand what John is doing? He's calling absentee owners, people that own property that don't live there. Any questions or anything? All right. Let's see. Who's got something next? Who wants to practice something?
I actually have a question for you.
Tell me.
So I actually just started calling expireds last week. My mentor told me that I was too nice because as soon as they say, well, they're no longer wanting to sell, I just say, okay. And then I just get off the phone. So like, how would I handle that?
So, well, what's your initial approach? They just say that, so they're kind of letting you know, hey, I still own the house and I don't want to sell anymore.
Correct.
Well, there's a couple of different things you could do. I mean, if it's a new expired, it just came off the market when? Within the past week?
Well, I've been more trying to call ones from a year ago instead of trying to call the ones present. Yeah.
And they no longer want to sell.
Correct. Like I know some of them, they say that they decided that they want to rent it out instead of selling it. And then some just said that they just don't want to sell it outright altogether.
I got you. That and that's fine, right? So does anybody want to practice that? Does anybody want to practice that with Chevy? We can see what's going on. I don't know, Walter, if you got something good. Shannon. Anybody that does expireds? All right. Okay. So Chevy, everybody's being quiet. So I guess I'll do this one with you. It's a good thing I'm here. Right. So do you want to be the agent on this and me be the expired, or would you like to be the kind of expired seller that I'm calling?
I think that I should be the client because I really don't know what to say.
No problem. And this is an expired from a year ago.
Correct.
Cool. And you still live at the house. It's the right phone number. So all the stars are in alignment. We just got to find out what's going on with you. Okay. So I'll give you a ring.
Correct.
Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hi, Chevy. So it's Chris, your favorite real estate agent. I was just giving you a call because I noticed that, maybe 8 months, a year ago, you had your property over on 123 Main Street on the market. I'm just curious, what happened with that? Did you sell that house? Are you looking to sell?
No, I didn't sell it. I decided to not sell it right now because I wanted to see what else was going to come up as far as buying. I know prices are just too high right now. And also COVID being on the rise, I just didn't want people in my house.
Oh yeah, I completely understand that. Let me ask you. So seeing what prices are doing. I mean, if you sold that house, what were you going to do?
Buy another one.
Okay, and are you going to buy something? Were you looking to kind of, relocate, trade up, get something smaller?
I was kind of looking to relocate.
All right, excellent. And where were you looking to relocate?
Probably more South Florida.
All right, I love it. And have you been keeping up to date of what's happening with the real estate market, both where you live and down there?
No, I haven't. I just know that right now sellers are pricing higher because of the market.
Sure. Well, so I'm what you're realizing is actually what's happening. I mean, I don't know if you know, but the average sales price right where your house is up 7.5% over it was this time last year. So essentially, you can probably sell for what you were asking for, maybe even more. So let me ask. I mean, if you could sell for what you're looking for quickly, would that reignite your desire to move down south and see what's going on in Florida's real estate market?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, there's nothing that gets me more excited than already finding a place. So why don't we do this? I could connect you with somebody that I've got down there. Just let me know what areas in Florida you're looking for, your price range. I could connect you with them. They could show you kind of what's going on with the market and what's available down there. That'll probably be a 15 to 30-minute conversation. And in the meantime, I could put together an updated report with you. We can get together and I could show you how quickly we can move your property. And when you could facilitate all that, you get what you want, you get what you're looking for, you spend what you want, we get you relocated, and it's a new life for you. How's that sound?
I think that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, it's just a conversation. So when's a good time for us to get together?
Probably next week.
Next week, perfect. So does Monday afternoon work for you?
Yes, that would be fine.
Oh, that's perfect. I keep Monday afternoon open special for special clients just like yourself. And I think this is important. So how's 4:30 work?
That'll work.
Great. So I'll see you at 4:30. In the meantime, Chevy, what I'm going to do, I'm going to shoot you an email. It's a little bit about me. There's going to be a bunch of links to click on so you can see what I do with regards to marketing. I'll also include an updated report so you can see what's been happening with real estate in your area. And I'm going to copy one of my Florida counterparts down there so that they can get in touch with you and tell you what's going on with the market down there. Do you have an idea about an area you're looking at in particular in Florida, or you're just pretty open?
Pretty open.
Pretty open. I will tell you. So people moving north, down south, Palm Beach County is my favorite place. I'm going to connect you with my Palm Beach County specialist to start there. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Awesome. Great. So I'm looking forward to meeting, and let me know if you have any questions. See you tomorrow at 4:30.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay.
Well, you're nice and easy, right? So people say, no, I'm not interested in selling it. Well, they're not interested in selling. At one time they were. So what was causing them to sell it, right? And have they been updated at the market? Switch those conversations to conversations about the market, right?
Okay.
So, and with conversations, and we talk about NLP, we talk about pacing and leading. Pacing is when we're saying things back to them that are true, right? So when they're like, oh, I've decided not to sell. We just want to see what the market's going to do. They're like, oh, great. I appreciate, I completely understand you. I said, you're not selling. You're just kind of watching the market, right?
Mm-hmm.
They already told you that. You're just confirming it back to them. They're like, yeah. And you'd be like, hey, well, wouldn't it make sense? When's the last time you had an updated market report? I mean, when's the last time you took a look at those numbers? They'd be happy to put something together and shoot you over an email. What's your email? Right? Or just kind of throwing a stat at them like, when's the last time you looked at the market? Because since you've been on the market, we have our median sale price did rise, 7 to 8%. And you have to know your numbers in order to have those conversations. But by the way, when you know numbers, you always sound like you know what you're talking about. So it doesn't matter how new you are, right? So Chevy, is that a little bit along the lines of, so you're calling older expireds and they decided not to sell or they're renting it. But that don't burn that. They're nice people. Say, no problem. How about I keep you up to date with what's happening with the market? Now you send them, now they're on your email campaign to keep them up to date with the market, right? Are you doing that?
I have not been doing that. I've really just been like, okay, well, thank you for taking my call. And that's pretty much been the end of the conversation.
I think we said last week, I'm so excited when I call a phone number and the person that picks up, it's the right phone number. They still own the house, whether they want to sell or not. I'm like, yay, a human being with the right data. So I'll pop them. I'm looking for some kind of yes. So, okay, the no is they don't want to sell. Well, would you like to keep up to date with what's happening with the market? Would you like me to keep you informed about what your house is worth? Great. I'll keep you informed about that. We'll stay in touch. Right. So that's, or get them talking about why they were excited to sell to begin with. That's kind of what I did with you, like being able to move somewhere else, relocate. Everyone's got different reasons why they're selling. Sometimes I'll tell you, well, I was going to be transferring jobs and I didn't get that job, or how about this? You ever guys, I was going to get a divorce, but now we're not getting divorced. We're staying together. Well, so are you sure you don't want to sell the house anyway? Right. So there's things that happen that they're difficult to meander around. But once they come up, once you get used to having all these conversations, you'll never hear anything new. It'll always be the same thing. I'm not selling because of this. I decided not to sell. I'm waiting. I'm renting, all that stuff. Any other feedback on that? And I know Walter said he can't talk right now. He's probably making expired calls right now. But does anybody have any questions or comments? Please feel free. You could chat, you can unmute yourself, you can turn your video on. We'd love to see you. There was once upon a time in our world where when we wanted to meet each other, we were like, belly to belly, face to face, and nobody could cover themselves. Now everybody rolls out of bed, they like don't brush their hair, they roll out of bed, they just turn their laptop on and they're like, let me listen to see what's going on in this thing. Any questions, any feedback, any comments?
Chris, you're awesome, dude. You're killing it on the phones.
I just did it. We can all do it. You just have to practice it. What's up, Walter?
How are you?
Every day
driving.
It's a good day.
So I was gonna say, I don't know the lady's name, but one thing that's really helped me is immediately if they say they're not interested, you give them exactly what they want to see what their buying temperature is. So when they go, I'm not interested, immediately I go, so if I had the perfect buyer for you, would you want me to reach out to you? And if they say no, that means that they're at a cold buying temperature. You really can't
Yes.
close on somebody like that. But somebody that
Yes.
has some interest in selling, like, yeah, well, if you had the perfect buyer, of course you can call me.
So that's exactly right. Gauging the temperature. So I don't want to sell anymore. So say, and you're looking at the price they were asking, say they're asking $699 for the house. So then just no matter what they say, just saying, okay, so if I would have walked in with a buyer that offered you $699 last week, would you have taken that offer? And then no, okay, because then they're not interested in selling, like Walter's saying. But if they're like, yeah, I would have entertained that offer, great. Well, that's exactly why we have to meet. Or, what were you going to do with that, in that case? But that's a great point. Gauging their temperature. Just so if I produced it, what if I would have come last week with a buyer that gave you what you were looking for? What would you have done? Would you have taken that offer? What if I have a buyer right now that would give you what you're looking for? That's exactly why we have to meet. So if they say yes to those questions, they might still be interested. Interested in selling, just not interested in listing. That happens a lot too. Thank you for that, Walter. Anything else around that? Shannon, you run into these problems? You're making phone calls? Well, who have you been calling now? For sale by owners, expireds?
Nobody enough.
Just not making.
I've been calling my follow-ups. I'm pretty good with follow-up. I'm good with my sphere. I am managing my transactions, which have been falling apart a little bit, but I have not been making my cold calls.
That's working on business and working in our business are different things, right? It's and sometimes it happens. Business happens, and all of a sudden we're like derailed, and then we forget about business building opportunities. But good deal. Look, I think calling old expireds is a good move right now, like Chevy's doing, because if we're calling in a market where we've noticed our median sale price go up, call with that information. So wherever you're from, it's an easier conversation to have. The brand new ones are the ones that, you get a little bit more fight from. Everybody's calling me. You're the 10th broker that called me, but really you're the third one that called,
I think that's actually something that, that's part of why I've been putting it off, is when I was making calls, it was new expireds, and I still haven't been able to figure out how to get old expireds into Red-X.
Did you talk to Red-X customer service? I'll send an email. I'll connect you with the Red-X people. Because they're really good. They're really easy. It's just you just talk to them, But
Okay.
Anybody else? We've got 6 minutes. We got time for one more. If you guys want to jump on, come on, blood and guts. We'll just get in there and do it. I would like to hear other people. Other people see. It's wonderful when we see everybody get better. People like Shannon and John that just are getting it. Anybody have anything else that they want to practice or role play? Otherwise, we'll send you out there to the wolves of for sale by owners and expireds and FSBOs and our friends and absentee landlords. Aren't your friends and family sometimes the worst? Aren't they sometimes the last people to trust you? That would have been my question when I started off at 21 years old. How do you get people that knew you as Chris the DJ to say, oh, I see you now as a real estate professional, right? So people used to think it was funny that I wore a suit every day to work. God, Marissa, what do you got? I see you unmuted.
Yes. Yes. I was going to see if you could do any for sale by owner.
Yeah, for sale by owners, of course. That's how I built my business, actually. So are you calling for sale by owners, or you're going to get ready to call them?
So truth be told, when I first started, which was about 6 months ago, I was doing it pretty strongly, but it didn't lead anywhere. And then I stopped for a period of time, and I'm really starting to get back into it. So I haven't just started yet, but I'm about to.
Okay. Does anybody want to, well, Marissa, are you willing to be the for sale by owner, and then we'll get an agent to call you?
Sure.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because it's always good being on the receiving end of that, because you can pretend to be the FSBOs that you've been coming up against. Does anybody want to take this that works FSBOs?
I'll do it.
Walter's got it. All right. So a few, so Walter's going to do it. And Walter, you're a big expired guy, right? FSBOs not so much, or?
Yeah.
All right, good. So this is great practice for Walter. You're going to call Marissa. She's our for sale by owner. Let's make it happen.
Okay. I'm waiting for the phone to ring, or hello.
No. You're going to be the agent, Walter.
Oh, I'm the agent. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was mine. Okay, no
Walter's the
problem.
agent. No, Marissa's going to be the for sale by owner seller.
Got it. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Yes, hi, good morning. I'm calling about the house for sale. Is that still available?
It's available, yes, but I'm not really willing to work with any agents.
Got it. No, okay. So if I had the perfect buyer for the property, you wouldn't want us to reach out to you?
That would work, yes, but I'm not looking to pay any commission to him.
Got it. Got it. So even if we had the perfect buyer, you wouldn't want to. You wouldn't want to deal with an agent.
I'm not necessarily interested, no.
Got it. All right, no problem. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
That's that. Okay.
That's it.
I love that. I love that. So yeah, so there's a lot of things here. Now, when I was a new agent, and Walter's very experienced, so he doesn't have time to be going out and like with all these because there's plenty of sellers out there that are. If you only have time for 2 listing appointments a day, and your schedule is pretty full, you have to qualify him. But as a new agent, I was always looking for some kind of yes. So I'd just be like, I would say yes to everything just to try to get in the door, because the magic happen with me would be face to face. So I might call you. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hi, I'm looking for the owner of the house for sale.
Yes, this is me.
Awesome. This is Chris. I'm calling from ABC Realty. I'm just curious. Are you cooperating with agents at all at this time?
Not currently, no.
No. Yeah, because I did see that you were selling for sale by owner, correct?
Yes.
Awesome. And I guess that means that you're not looking to sign a listing agreement. You're not looking to pay a commission. Is that right?
Yes, I believe that I have my house priced right, and I don't feel like I necessarily need a realtor at this time.
Yeah, awesome. I love that. Well, a lot of buyers, unfortunately, are looking to work with professionals like myself. So let me ask you, if I produced a buyer that I had an agreement with and it didn't require you to sign anything, didn't require you to agree to a commission, would you accept an offer from that buyer?
Yes, I would.
Awesome. So when's a good time for us to meet?
Tomorrow morning.
Okay, yeah, I'll be over there. Does 6:30 a.m. work for you?
Absolutely.
Great. I like to start early. I like to do all my important stuff before 12 so I can go to the beach and drink margaritas afterwards.
Sounds good.
All right, Marissa, I'll see you tomorrow at 6:30 a.m.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Walter's not going to go to that house because you said that you didn't want to pay a commission or whatever, right? So in my mind, as a new agent, I'm going to go and I'm going to hope that someday you're going to realize that you're crazy, because what happens sometimes is they do end up listing, they do end up paying a commission, but otherwise, don't even waste your time. Just go on to the next.
So can I say something?
Yeah.
Like if Chris, if you go over there and you try to close on a sale, you really shot yourself in the foot, because that person is not interested in listing their property. So you got to be really careful. You're there to build rapport and see if you could be as helpful as possible. My strategy, what I would have done is I would have called that person back in 2 weeks, because if the worst thing I want to do, I don't want to piss this person off, because it's so easy to block your number these days. It's like it takes a split second. Your number gets blocked, and then you've never spoken to that person again. So I'm hoping that all the more aggressive agents and all the other agents that don't know how to speak to people, they're blowing themselves out. And in 2 weeks, if this property hasn't sold, then maybe I can have a conversation. But if they tell you they're not going to pay you a commission, I just don't think that there's a chance for a listing. Not today, maybe in a couple of weeks. And it's just 2 different strategies.
So here's the disclaimer. I was rarely a one-stop lister. And most of the time, that first time I went over there, I would not even talk about the listing. And that's why we've spoken about kind of that problem presentation. And then, so when you go over there for these appointments, you're building rapport, you're asking questions, you're taking a look at the house. If they give you, if they don't give you the opportunity, a window of opportunity for like, hey, well, what if I decided to hire you? How much do you charge? Well, I didn't come here to have that conversation. Are you ready to have that conversation? But that's what you're looking for. But if they don't, even if you don't go that first time, like Walter was saying, I'm going to call you twice a week until I get an appointment. Once I have an appointment, I'm going to follow up with you at least once a week just to kind of check in and see how you're doing. My sweet spot for listing for sale by owners was going to be kind of that 4-week mark, that 3 to 4 week mark. So now that same for sale by owner that told Walter this week, I'm not willing to pay a commission. When he calls back next week, after she got a call from a bunch of agents, a bunch of investors, people that wanted to see the house and not showing up, things change. Maybe I should cooperate with agents. Well, okay, I'll pay you if you sell it. Great. When are you going to bring a buyer? Well, I'm not going to bring a buyer. When can we talk about that? So situations change. That's why, people like Chevy was talking about, hey, I'm just kind of say the first no, I'm saying no, I'm moving on. Marissa, you're about to get into it. Just agree with them, identify with their position, look for the opportunity to build rapport. You're not going to list them over the phone. You're probably not going to list them quickly and upfront. Very rarely did I walk into a listing appointment the first time on a for sale by owner and walk out with a listing. If you do it a lot, that'll happen to you once or twice a year, but you have to do it on a regular basis. My fellow agents used to say, you're so lucky. You just go to a FSBO and then they want to list with you. And I'm like, no, that happens to me once or twice a year. And I go to them every week. I'm constantly on FSBO appointments in order for that to happen. When you're doing 10 or 15 a month, once in a while, one out of 50 is going to say, hey, here's my listing. So this is awesome. Thank you guys for your participation. John, Walter, Shannon, Chevy, Marissa. We got Eric and Gifty down there being silent, but that's okay. It's okay. It's okay to come and listen. I'm glad we had some participation. I do stream these to YouTube. You can go back and watch them if you want. And if you need anything else, just feel free to shoot me an email. I do get your emails. Find me on social media, and hopefully we'll see you next time. If you need anything else, let me know.